Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Harshu Education, and in this video we are going to create this application. So it is a focus application where when I click on this plant, the plant will start growing for around 60 seconds. So it is like you have to focus for 60 seconds. You can change this duration in the code, like we can change it. And let's click on this plant, and if you see, the plant will start growing a little. So how I have done this animation using this Rive. So Rive is an open source software which is available to anyone to create these kind of awesome animations. If you see, even their website, the main website looks really cool. So you can navigate through this website. You can see what and all they are offering. We will go to their community section, right? If you go to community, they will show all the available animations which are readily available for you to download and use it in your application. So you can use it in Flutter, you can use it in Swift, you can use it in Kotlin. There are so many platform where you can use it. So any application which you want to create, like game application or anything, if you want to add some kind of some super cool this kind of animation, you can try using this Rive app, right? So there are many animations. As you see, you can download any of these and you can start working on you can start looking into it. So we will be working with this animation. So if you click on it, it will show in this page. So this is the plant growing animation, and if you see, we have this input. So if we increase this input value, the plant will start growing, and we will have more and more leaves on the plant, and there we have our fully grown plant. So this is what we will be doing. We will provide this input from our Flutter application. We will access this file in our Flutter application. Also, if you want to do some changes in this file, so if you notice, for me this plant does not have any background, whereas we have this background color over here. So I wanted to change that. So you can go to this open in Rive, and it will open the Rive editor, and there you can do your changes. Like you can change the background, you can even change the color of these, you can add some different type of leaves. So I won't be doing all those things, so I'll just change the background, and that should be good for me. So to change the background, all you have to do is click on this new artboard. So this is the artboard which is being used to create this animation, and if you see, everything is here. So this is what they call bones. So you can play around with it. So you can move the bone and record the animation for it, and that would be recorded over here. So you can make this plant even moving as well, not just growing. So yeah, there are so many things you can do if you go to this. So there's like two tabs. One is this design, and the design, you can change the background, you can change the size and positioning and everything. So let's just change the background, because I don't want any background, so I'll just change it to 0, right? So we have no background now. And if you go to animate section, you will see this below view will come up, right? And we have the state machine. So this is the state machine which we'll be using to provide input so that our tree starts growing, right? So if I click on play over here, and if I increase this number, my tree will start growing. So this is what we'll do. We will be first referring to our artboard through our code in Swift, in Flutter, sorry, and then we will be referring to our state machine, and then through state machine we will be providing our input to this variable, and with that our tree will start growing. So let's look into it. And before we get started with the coding part, let's just change the state machine name to let's say grow, so that because we are growing our tree, right? So we'll call the state machine grow. And once all the changes are done, you can go over here and go to download section, and for newest runtime you can download this file. I have already downloaded it, and I have created a base project. So let me show you the base projects. So if you see in this project, what I have is I have everything else ready. I have this text. Uh, let's just start from main.dart. So in main.dart, I have just called like in this my app class. I have this material app. I have my debug show checked mode banner as false. Title doesn't matter because we're not showing any title. I just left it from the base project, which comes from Flutter, right? And I have this gradient. If you see, we have this gradient, right? So I have a container, and in that I have this box decoration with this gradient, this green gradient colors I have defined over here. And as a child for this, I have called my plant screen. So all this stay focused, this circle and this timer and this button, everything is in this plant screen. So if you see this plant screen, it's a stateful widget, and we have plant button text because we will be changing it. Initially it will be plant. When we click on it, we will change it to surrender. And you know if user click on surrender, then our tree will stop growing. So that would be the logic behind that. And then we have the start timer. So this is very simple. We have this timer dot periodic, and which will take 1 second. So initially it will be 1 second, and then we have two variables, time progress and time max progress. So I have set 60 second. You can set anything you want. So I have set 60 second, and I'm just checking in this that when our timer is going, right, uh, if it is if time is equals to this max time, if we have reached to the max duration, I just call this stop timer. I will just stop the timer, and I'll reset the button name and the title of the button. I will reset our time progress, and I'll reset basically everything. This is not needed, but still I have reset it over here because this is constant in my application. And then if it is not if it is less than my time tree max progress, then we will just increase our progress, this tree progress. So basically this will increase the timer. So yeah, this is our timer, and based on this timer we will be giving input to our tree. So this tree progress we will be giving as input to our tree, as we see this over here, right? So yeah, so this is our timer logic. And then if you see, this is very simple UI. We have a column, then the children of columns would be, the first one is stay focused, the text itself. Then we have this expanded container, which is showing this circular the circle, right? So in this circle inside we will be showing our tree. So over here we will have a child. As of now we don't have any child, we will create it, right? And then we have our this text, right? This timer text. So what we are showing is, we are showing the time remaining. So I have written few function, like I have this time util. So in this time util I have written this function called int to time left, right? So I will pass my integer, the tree progress integer which we are getting, right, from our timer. I will pass it over here, and I will get a time like duration in minute and second format, MMSS format, which we are showing over here. So what I'm doing, from max progress, I'm just reducing the time tree progress. So as much as our tree would be going high, like as much as our tree will be growing, we will be reducing our timer, right? So that's what, this is the text which we are showing over here. This is just this static text which I show over here in font size 10. And then at the end I have my button, this button on plant, right? So this plant button on press, what I'm doing is, if time progress is greater than 0, right, then I just stop the progress, because the it means that our progress, like our tree is already growing, right? So if tree progress is greater than 0, it means our tree is in the process of growing it. So when I click on this button, it would be called surrender, right? So we will change it back to plant, and then we will reset it like what we did over here on once we reach to the max timer, and once we click on the surrender button, we will do the same thing, right? If the tree is not growing, if it is in this state, then when I click on it, I will change the name of the button to surrender, and then I will start my timer. So the timer will start, and then we will have this tree progress. So tree progress means it will go from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will be passing that progress to our Rive plant through which it will be growing. That is the logic. So let's add our Rive plant over here. So if you remember in Rive, as I told you, we will be referring to this artboard, and then we will be referring to the state machine, and then we will be referring to this input, right? So these three things we will be referring, and then using this artboard and state machine and the input, we will increase the input, and our tree will grow. So our input will increase based on our timer, this tree progress, right? So let's do it. So let me just first add our let me add some of the properties like the for our Rive, right? So let's add our Rive board. So this is artboard which we will be referring, right? And then we will be referring to our controller as well. So this is our controller. This is called state machine controller, and then we will be referring to the progress. So this is called SMI input in double format. So as you see, it is accepting double input, right? So that's why it is like this, right? And then in the init state, we will initialize our we will be initializing it. So to initialize it, to have our to get access to our Rive board, right, we need to have make sure in assets you have put your downloaded tree demo.riv file. So once you go here and you download it, you will get a file of this extension .riv. Just put it in the assets folder and make sure you have done this as well, so that we will be able to access it in the assets folder in your pubspec.yml file. Also, to use Rive, we will need this package Rive. Just get this version from pubspec website as well. So I have done all these things and I have imported it as well, so that's why I'm not getting any issue when I declared my variables. Okay, so now I have all these, right? So let's initialize our Rive artboard. So what we will do is first we will be loading the this tree demo file using our root bundle. So this is the function which is given by Rive dependency which we have added. So with that we would be able to load this. So what it returns? It returns bytes. It returns byte data. So that data we will take, and we will get access to our Rive artboard, right? So we have this data, and then we get access to our Rive file. So Rive file dot import, and use this data to get access to our Rive file. After that, what we have to do is we have to call the artboard, right? Artboard from this Rive file. So this is how we get access to our Rive file, and then we call our controller. So from this artboard, with the help of this artboard, we call our state machine controller. So this is the state machine controller, right? And as we named it grow over here, we can use the same name to get access to this controller. And then what we do is we check if controller is not equals to null. In that scenario, we will add our controller to our artboard. So that is something we have to do. In this artboard, I really didn't understand this because we are accessing this controller from this artboard, but yeah, this is one of the steps which you have to do. to get access to our input. So in the next step we will get access to our input. So you see we have this progress, right? So this is our input, so we will get we will define it, we will access it using this controller dot find input. So this is the key over here, we see this is the key input. So this is how we are accessing it. And after that what we have to do is set so yeah, we had created this Rive artboard, right? So this artboard which we have created, we just have to set it with our current artboard which we created over here. So this Rive artboard, we will set it with our current Rive, the artboard which we created over here. Why so? Because we will be accessing this Rive board in our application. And then in this timer, as I said, uh, this progress we have initialized, right? Now we have this input progress which we need to increase. So as simple as that, we will just go over here. Every time this tree progress is being updated, we will update our this progress as well. This we will put that progress, we will put this tree progress into our input, right? So that's what we are doing. Not here, we will do it right here. So see, the progress dot value is tree progress to double, because this is an integer and we have to change it to double. So now every time this tree progress is being updated, we will update our input value as well. So that is done. And then in the center we want our tree as well, right? So let's go to our container. This is our container, the circular container, right? So let's go over here, and we want our child, right? So let's add this child, and this will have Rive view, right? This Rive widget, and we have this alignment center and artboard. We will give this Rive artboard which we have initialized over here. So as soon as we initialize it, this will get called. And before it's initialized, if we just call it, it will crash. So what we can do over here, we can give a empty size box before. So yeah, we'll check if Rive board is nil, then we'll just return a size box. Otherwise we will return a container. And this is it, this is all we had to do. So let's run our application. Let's run it, and we should have our tree. You see we have our tree, and when I click on plant, what it will do, it will see if tree progress is greater than 0. It's not, then it goes to this button, this section, right? So it will change the button text to surrender, and it will start the timer. And on start timer, what we are doing is, if it is not equals to tree max progress, then we just increase the tree progress, and we update the input value. So input value is the progress, this progress which we have initialized with our controller. So let's just click plant, and you see our timer has started. And if you see, our plant has started growing very slowly, because we have 60 seconds, it has 60 seconds to grow, so it will take its time. So yeah, and we have the surrender button. So if we click on surrender, what will happen is, it will come to the stop timer. So it will basically come in this loop, right? Because our tree progress is greater than 0, so it will come over here, and then I'll change the button text to plant, and it will reset our progress. So let's click on surrender, and yeah, so when we click on surrender, it comes back, and when I clicked it twice, so that's why it came back and then started growing again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how we access any animation from Rive, and we start using it in our application. So I really liked Rive a lot. I would be exploring it more. I will try to create a new animation from scratch. This is something which I used, which was already available. You can also do this. You can, play around with the existing animations which are available in Rive and use it in Flutter, or you can create some new animation from scratch and then use it in your application. So anything, I mean, for both the things, it is super cool. So yeah, that's it with this tutorial. Let's see what we can come up with the next one, next animation and next Flutter tutorial. So thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe. And yeah, bye bye.